Alhamdulillah, salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah.
ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين.
Inshallah ta'ala, today we're going to mention some of the benefits we can get from Surah Al-Masad. The rough translations you'll find in the English books you typically see is the palm fiber. This surah is making reference to certain people, especially two. The two names that I would mention is Abu Lahab. His name is Abdul Uzza ibn Abdul Muttalib. This is the first person that is mentioned in the surah indirectly by calling him Abu Lahab. The second person that is mentioned not directly, وَامْرَأَتُهُ, referring to his wife, which her name is Jamil. Who is she? She is the sister of Abu Sufyan ibn Harb. So this is the second person that is mentioned in Surah Lahab. So just before we get into the linguistic meanings, Surah Al-Lahab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the surah. When the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was commanded to call his own people to Islam, and when he gets on this mountain and he calls and uses his word that is mentioned in the books of Tafsir, Ya sahiba fastamat ilayhi Quraysh, and the Quraysh, when they gathered to this mountain, and one of the things that he mentions, if I were to tell you that the enemy had gathered, would you believe me? And then they all affirmed that they would believe the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when he makes a statement, فَإِنِّي نَذِيرٌ لَكُمْ بَيْنَ يَدَيْ عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ, that when he tells them that I am a warner to you, he's warning them about the intense punishment of the hellfire. But when he makes a statement, Abu Lahab, he makes obviously a disgraceful statement to him, أَلِهَذَا جَمِعْتَنَا, and he also tells them تَبًّا لَكَ, one of the words that we find even in the Quran, تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبٍّ. So this is a very statement he tells the Prophet ﷺ to say, destruction be upon you, may you be perished, تَبًّا لَكَ. And he's addressing the Prophet ﷺ. After this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions or sends down the surah, تَبَّتْ يَدَا أَبِي لَهَبٍ وَتَبٍّ مَا أَغْنَى عَنْهُ مَالَهُ وَمَا كَسَبَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention that he shall be perished, and referring to him indirectly, Abu Lahab. His name, as you mentioned, is Abdul Uzza. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentions that his mal, i.e. his wealth, and his kids, his progeny, is not going to benefit him. سَيَصْلَى نَارًا ذَاتَ لَهَبٍ, that this person is going to enter the hellfire. وَامْرَأَتُهُ حَمَّالَةَ الْحَطَبِ. Now there's multiple interpretations to this particular ayah. The linguistic part generally is his wife is going to be carrying the hatab, i.e. the wood. So there's three aqwal. Generally when they talk about this, or at least two, one of them inshallah will mention, is that one of the things that she used to do was she used to throw things in the path of the Prophet ﷺ that would actually harm him, i.e. she used to help her husband in harming the Prophet ﷺ. In the hereafter, she is going to be helping, i.e. she's going to be the one putting the wood in the torment of her own husband. So in this dunya, she was somebody who used to cause harm to the Prophet ﷺ, and in the hereafter, she is going to be the one putting the wood in increasing the torment of her own husband. في جيدها حبل من مسد, and around her neck is going to be a rope, a twisted fiber, obviously, which is going to be causing her intense pain. Now when it comes to this particular ayah, obviously there's again three aqwal that you find. في جيدها حبل من مسد. One of the things also is that they mention is that this is something that is going to be around her neck. Now why do they talk about this? Is that one, she used to take pride of a necklace that she used to wear, and she would say that she would spend this in the adawa of the Prophet ﷺ. This is one of the three aqwal, one of the three interpretations, that this is again going to be the thing that is going to be around her neck, but rather than her necklace, it is going to be this habl, this rope, twisted fiber, that is going to be causing her pain. So this, brothers, wallahi, think about this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us of something that is not only her and her husband is going to enter the hellfire. So this is a promise from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and this is the beginning of nubuwah, i.e. when the Prophet was in the beginning of his prophethood. They could have always said, okay, just for the sake of it, they could have said, we became Muslim. That means this would contradict your belief. How can you say that we passed away? But until his last breath, he was an enemy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In fact, he would run behind the Prophet ﷺ and he would tell the people, Do not believe him. Do not believe him. Do not believe anything that he mentions. So this was his enmity, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a promise, and this is obviously from the ilm al-ghayb, that he shall be amongst the perishers of the hellfire. And also referring to his wife, Salim, and she was from the Sa'adat of Quraysh. She's one of the honorable people of Quraysh, but she is also promised the hellfire. And she is a sister of Abu Sufyan. Obviously, Abu Sufyan, just before Fatih Makkah, he becomes a Muslim. As of for her, she is also promised the hellfire because of the torment that they used to do to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wallahi, there is so much benefits that we can break down from every single one of these ayat. But we have to always take into mind that the people that take enmity upon the Prophet ﷺ, sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made indirect references to them, and He has told them that they shall be amongst the hellfire. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made indirect references in terms of praise, like Zayd ibn Haritha, that he's also praised. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made indirect references both upon the people of khair and upon the people upon batil. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us upon the people of khair. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He mentions people of khair, and we are amongst those people, and may He also raise our ranks and keep us away from any sort of punishment in this life and in the hereafter. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka.